Hey everybody, it's Miss T here, and we are about to do some painting. So I hope you guys are excited about our new project. This very cool jellyfish, and he's gonna be a special jellyfish. You'll just have to wait till the end to find out why. Grab out your kits, we're gonna open them up. If you don't have them opened already, hopefully you've already got your setup ready to go. And if that is the case, good job. All right, but I'm gonna take everything out of my kit. You just set the bag to the side. All right, and then we have another bag of paints. Everybody should have a green and a blue, a yellow, a white, and then this little one that has a G on it is our special paint for the end. And then everybody has a little plate so we can mix some of the colors together. You should have 2 paintbrushes, a bigger one and a smaller one, your canvas, and a keychain. This goes with the special paint, so you'll get to keep this, okay? The only thing we're asking is after everybody finishes their paintings, that next time you come to the library, you just bring your paintbrushes back, please, if you would. We would greatly appreciate that. All right, the other things that were not in your kit that you're gonna need is you're gonna need a cup of water so you can rinse out your brushes. You're gonna need quite a few paper towels. I use quite a few paper towels. I put down a scrap piece of paper to protect my table. I'm sure moms have already got all that set up and ready to go. These are acrylic paints that we are gonna be working with. So they will wash off your hands. They will not wash out of your clothes unless you wipe it while it's still wet. Once it dries and sets in, it's pretty impossible to get out of clothes. So keep that in mind, mamas, also. Another thing you're gonna need is a blow dryer. This bag would be great to return these brushes in. So if you just wanna hang on to that, then you can just throw your brushes in that little bag and just bring them back to us like that. Make sure to rinse the paint out of the brushes though, please, because if the paint gets left in them, they're ruined and then we're just gonna have to throw them away anyways, but you guys know. All right, so to do the background, we are going to be doing the blues and the greens and a little bit of yellow. We'll even use a little bit of white. So for now, I'm just gonna set our little G paint over to the side. And now I prefer to just work right out of the pots, but you are more than welcome to put it on your plate and mix them, especially if you want to make a lighter color where you're mixing some blue and some white, or green and white to make it a lighter shade. That's what the plate is for, so you can mix your colors together, okay? Now I'm actually gonna cheat. I'm actually gonna use a little bit of a bigger brush than this one that came in the kits for you guys. But to start, I'm just gonna get my brush wet, okay? And you don't want it to be really, really wet. You just want it a little wet, and then I kind of just do like some dabs on my canvas. And then I'm just gonna swish back and forth. This is just gonna help wet the canvas a little bit. It's gonna help us when we put our paint on to help it blend a little bit easier. We've done this before. You guys know how this works, okay? You don't want it to be really, really wet though. So if you've got like a puddle of water, you'll wanna use a napkin and kind of dab it dry a little. And I'm just gonna use the plate here just to kind of cover my paintbrush on both sides. It makes it easier so that when we're swiping back and forth to have paint on both sides of your brush, makes it a little bit easier to work with. Okay, so we don't want to go back and forth straight across. We kind of want to go at an angle. So think of not quite this corner. We want to come over. So we want like this. This is how we want our water. Okay, the direction of our background. Okay, we want it slightly off center, and you want to use full strokes all the way across your canvas, back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth. Okay. Add a little bit more blue. Okay. When your paint starts to if it feels like it's not sliding as easily as it should, it probably means, one, you may need more paint, but two, you may just need to add a little bit of water to your brush. Okay, so that always helps. You don't want to dip your whole brush in the water. You just want to adjust the tip of the bristles just to add a little bit of moisture to the paint, because this acrylic paint is full-bodied. It is pretty thick. So you can thin it down and make it easier to work with by just adding a little bit of water. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with some green paint. Sorry, couldn't remember what color. And I'm not gonna rinse my brush. I'm just gonna use the same brush, and I want my green to blend on top of that blue a little bit. Okay. And I'll mix it here on the plate with this blue. Add a little bit more water to my brush. Okay, just keep blending it out. Now these canvas boards, they don't have a very thick side, but they do have a little bit, so you want to make sure to get the side of your painting as well. Okay, so grab a little blue. This way. Okay, and there's no wrong or right way to do this with the colors. If you don't want to use any green, if you want your background to be all blue, then use all blue. You know, you could use, I put a little blue on my plate here. I'm going to use a different brush. I'm going to grab up some white paint, add that to my plate. Okay. Just set that there. Make sure it's not going to fall. Okay, it did, but it's all good. Okay. So we can mix a little bit of white with the blue to give us a little bit of a lighter blue shade. Okay. So you do what colors you like best. Actually rinsing my brush off completely, okay? I'm rinsing all that blue and green paint out of my brush. And to do this, I'm like stamping it on the bottom of the cup, not just swirling it around in the water. That won't really get it clean. You kind of need to scrub the bristles on the bottom or the sides of the cup, okay? And then I'm gonna dry it off on my paper towel. And to do that, I just kind of dab it on both sides. Okay, and then I even like to dry off the top part because you don't want water droplets coming down off the handle onto your painting. And then I'm gonna go in with a little bit of yellow. I'm actually gonna put it right here on the palette where I had a little bit of white left. Okay. Making sure not to get it in that blue because I don't want the green, I want the yellow. Okay. I'm just going to put this up here. It's a little hard to keep these from sliding around on you, so you might have to use a finger. But again, like I said, this acrylic paint will wash off of your fingers. Whoop. You just don't want to get it on your clothes. All right, so now I'm going to catch the edge. And I'm going to go back in with a little bit of yellow. Put some more of it on my plate here. And then I'm going to go in with some white also. Tip some of that out. Okay. I'm just swishing the white paint. Just a couple little spots of it. Okay, the white will blend in very, very easily. So if you want to leave the marks, you just want to swipe it just a couple times, just so it blends. But if you swipe it too much, here I can show you, it kind of just blends right in with the painting. I mean, you can still see it's lighter there, but if you want the white color to stand out, just be real easy with it. Okay, I'm actually gonna rinse my brush. It's starting to already turn a little green. Okay. Go back in with a little bit more white and yellow up here. I'm gonna do another coat on the top of my corner up here. And blend it down into that green a little bit more. Now this part is totally optional. If you guys don't want to do this part, don't do it. Okay. I think this just helps add a little bit of dimension to the background behind her. But our jellyfish is the main show, so. But once you get your background the way you like it, you can either, one, get up and walk away and let it dry on its own. Two, you can get out your blow dryer, and it literally takes about a minute. Okay. This is just water on my brush. I'm just doing one last blend on the whole canvas. Okay. A little bit more white. Here. Here. All right. I am really happy with the way that turned out, guys. All right. All right. You guys ready to get this jellyfish going? My background is all nice and dry. And I know the camera angle is going to be a little weird for you guys. Because it's gonna look like mine is upside down because the yellow is supposed to be up at the top of my painting. So I am going to turn my painting around and I'm going to attempt to sketch this jellyfish upside down. We'll see how that goes. So let me bring in this sample again so you guys can see real quick. This is what we are about to sketch, okay? Just the top of the jellyfish. I don't know if you consider it the jellyfish's head, because it doesn't really have eyes or a brain or anything like that. So, but this top portion of the jellyfish, okay, not his tentacles and stuff. But this is what we're gonna draw. And I like to sketch it out before I put paint. So I'm just gonna use a pencil and I'm gonna use a really light hand. I don't wanna do a real hard, dark line with because it is going to mix with the paint when we put the paint on top of the pencil lead. So we want it to be real light. So just keep that in mind. All right, so looking at the top of your paintings, the jellyfish's head is kind of going up into this top corner of the picture. Not quite, but pretty much. We'll use this, all right? And I'm gonna call him a he, okay? Let's see, let's call him Jerry the jellyfish, all right? So Jerry's head, I think if we make kind of like a U shape, like the letter U, okay? So we'll just come up. You guys may not be able to see this on the camera, but I'm trying. But kind of like a U shape, okay? A big fat U. But you want him to kind of come to like a little bit of a tip. Not a point, but you want it to come a little bit towards the tip there. Okay, just kind of going over it a couple times. All right, and then you can come down around the sides. They kind of come out a little bit and then back in. So we want to make like a, kind of like a C shape, I guess, if that makes any sense. Okay, so I'm going to do that on both sides. We want to keep it pretty even. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then it just kind of goes up. Okay. One center line here, and then like from this side, they would go towards the center, but then from this side, you know, they would be kind of like that. Okay. So all of our lines are kind of facing the center, if that makes sense to you guys. I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but hopefully you guys could see by what I just did. Okay, a little bit more water. Again, using that same motion. It's kind of like, almost like you're writing the letter J, because it's coming down and then it's kind of curving in towards the, or like a, kind of like a C actually, just not making a full C, just the motion of it kind of going out and in, out and in, out and in, out and in. Okay. And then just being real light-handed with it, and then also consistent with the shape of our strokes, the direction of our strokes, I should say. All right, I'm gonna let that dry and we'll see how it looks. We'll go ahead and start doing some of his tentacles. Okay, I think I'm gonna keep using the same brush, but if you guys want to use the smaller brush that came in your bag, this would probably be a good time to do that. Ooh, I just bumped the camera, sorry. Okay. So I'm going to turn my painting back up so you guys can see. So there's Jerry. He's a little lopsided, but he'll be all right. But his tentacles, so again, I'm going to start off going in with some of that diluted white paint. Okay, and just got it on like the tips of my bristles, okay, not a lot. And I'm going to start with his big tentacle, and I'm just going to do a real light stroke all the way down, just so we can see the position of it, where it's at. And then again on the other really long one. I feel like we want the two tentacles that have the suction cups on them, and I don't even know the scientific term for them. We want those to, I mean, they're already going to stand out once we add our little suction cups to them, but by making them the two longest ones, I think also. All right. And then we just got a bunch of little ones, and you can put as many of these as you want, you guys. You can make him have 3, 9, 15. I mean, this is however you guys want, okay? So I'm gonna do 2 on this side. Oh, he's got some little ones too. And they don't all have to be the same size, okay, you guys? He can still have some more long ones, maybe that aren't quite as thick as the ones we already did. Okay, he can have some really short ones. Sorry guys, I was in the zone and did not realize that it had stopped recording. So I went back and looked, and it was just me explaining that when you are needing to do multiple passes with the same color, so I load my brush up with the blue paint. I start at the top, work my way down towards the bottom, okay, but it starts to get a little faint down at the bottom, so then I'm going to add more paint, but instead of going back over the top, I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up towards the top. And I feel like when you do it that way, it gets more evenly distributed, it's easier to blend out, and then you don't end up with this big pile of paint at the very beginning and then none at the very end that you're having to spread out. But that's basically all I was saying when the video cut off. So yay, love that. Add in some of the smaller tentacles. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a real light pass. Might need a little bit more blue on my brush. A little bit of water on my plate. A little bit blue paint. So this is gonna make the blue just like the white, just kind of a little bit more diluted, because we want some other blue tentacles, but we don't want it to take away, oops, we don't want it to take away from the big blue tentacles, okay? So this just helps make it look a little less And then I forgot to tell you guys, when you are doing your tentacles, whether it be with the white, the red, we don't even have red, where'd that come from? The white, the blue, or the green, I've been starting here at the bottom of the jellyfish's head, but I really should be continuing up into the head. So let me show you. So this one, I'm working my way up, and then when I get up here, I just kind of want to flick the brush, okay? Let me show you a picture. So this is kind of what we're looking for. So when you bring your brush, just kind of flick it up into the head so it kind of blends the tentacles up into the rest of the body, if that makes sense. I put a little bit of green on my brush, okay, going in and going over some of the white, but also gonna blend it in with some of the green or the blue that's already there. Okay, this one's gonna be a dark, I didn't dilute this one any, so it's dark green. Okay. Forget to flick it. Okay, flick. And you can even flick down if you want to. Flick down, and then drag it the rest of the way. And go back in. Didn't even clean off my brush. Just gonna keep going with this blue and this green, and just kind of making his tentacles a little bit more prominent on top of that white that we started with. Okay. Okay, to show you guys the detail that we're gonna try to add to create his little suction cups on his tentacles, I am gonna try to bring the camera in a little bit closer. See if it will let me do it without getting blurry on you guys. So I'm just gonna show it just for a second up close like this. So you see, I've got my one big tentacle here, and then I have another one over here, and it's okay that I've covered some of it with the other tentacles.
Putting this next step is gonna bring it back out to the surface, okay? So what I'm gonna do is with that mixture of the light blue paint that we just made up, I'm just gonna start at the top, and I just wanna make like a little, almost like a circle shape. More of an oval shape if you can, but just like that, okay? With just the tip of your brush, a little bit of paint. Okay, I'm gonna leave a little space and I'm gonna make another one. Okay. And then I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna make another one. Okay. So I'm just gonna keep doing this all the way down to the bottom of his tentacle. And then I'm gonna do it again on the other big blue one that I made, okay? That I just finished putting the little light blue dots down Jerry's big tentacles. And now I'm going to use a green, again with the really small brush. And again, just putting it on the very tip of my paintbrush, okay? On the bottom of each light blue circle, I'm just gonna kind of do like a little smiley face, okay? Just on the bottom portion of it, okay? Okay, and then with the white, again, using the small brush, dipping into the white just a little bit. Now, on the top of the blue circle, we're gonna put like an upside down V shape. So on the bottom, we made a C shape. On the top, we're gonna make a V shape, so with the point, okay? And again, it does not have to be perfect. So like an upside down V. So this one will come to more of a point at the top, whereas the bottom was more of a curve, or was a curve. Pretty happy with him. Probably could have made his tentacles a little bit longer, but it's all good. It is what it is. All right, so Jerry is done, but we still have to put some bubbles on our painting, okay? So again, we're gonna use that same technique that we used when we did Jerry. We're gonna use a little bit of white, just a little bit of white paint, and more water than anything, okay? Because, you know, a bubble, you can see through a bubble. It's pretty much clear. But we have to add a little something into it to make it fun, okay? So I just have a little bit of watered down white paint, okay? And I am just going to put just a few really light circles, okay? You can do some big ones, you can do some small ones. We are almost done, but there's still one thing left we have to do. You guys know what it is? Have you figured it out with the keychain? So it's glow in the dark paint, you guys. What? I know, how awesome, right? Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is right in the center of my tentacle, I'm just gonna color in a little dot, okay? And then I'm gonna skip one and then I'm gonna color in the next one, okay? And I'm actually leaving a pretty good bit of paint on there. Like I said, the more you use, the brighter it will be. Okay, and I really want this sucker to glow, baby, go. Okay? So let's do... See, I'm concentrating again. I got really quiet on you guys. All right, guys. So I've moved us back into one of the storage areas here in the library. And it has no windows. And so when I turn the lights off, it's going to be completely dark in here. Completely dark. So this will be a good chance for me guys to show you what Jerry is going to look like. So what I'm actually doing right now is I'm actually taking my little light and I'm just charging the paint back up because I really want it to glow really, really well for you guys when I show it to you on film. Okay. So I'm going to turn out the lights and we're going to see what Jerry looks like. Are you guys ready? All right, here we go. Boom shakalaka. Hi, Jerry. Okay, well, he is smiling, but he has no head. But look at his tentacles, guys. Look at the multicolors. That looks so cool. And you can see how, like, because I did a lot of paint on those, but then I barely did any on the bubbles. So you can see they're, like, hardly showing up. So it makes him, like, stand out, like, big time. Like, wow, he is so cool. So, you guys, I'm going to turn the light back on now. Say bye, Jerry. Where's the light switch? Ah. There it is. I'll take a color picture in the daylight, charge it up, and take a picture with the lights out. Okay, send us both. We would love to see what you guys came up with. I really, really hope that you guys enjoyed this painting. Don't forget, next week's program is snow, baby. Okay, we're in Florida. It is hot as... It's super hot out there, right? Am I right? Okay, it's crazy hot. But, you know your library staff. We are awesome. We are gonna bring some snow in for you guys, okay? Because we're just magic. Alright, so you do not want to miss next week's program here at the library, Union County Public Library, starting at 10 a.m., okay, just like normal. It will be an outside program. No, Mary Brown will not allow snow to be brought into the library, so it is going to be outside, so please come dressed to play in the snow in 90-degree weather. So it'll probably actually feel pretty good for us Floridians. Alright, don't forget to send us your pictures. We appreciate and love all of our supporters so, so very much. And we'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye, guys.